A lama working in a Buddhist monastery built in a remote village of ancient Tibet writes a letter to the head of his chief minister, in which he writes that please send a lama to this Buddhist monastery and send us in dire need of him. As soon as that letter is received by the chief minister's then after reading the letter, he decides that 5 lamas will be sent to that Buddhist monastery from here. One of them questions Lama Pradhan. Why 5? He needs only 1 lama. Hearing this, Pradhan says, you will understand everything later if I send 5 lamas from here. So there is also a possibility that not a single one will reach there because the path is too long and thousands of people who wander the mind start laughing from sitting there because they think that this decision of the chief is stupid when the need is 1. So it is foolish to send 5, but Pradhan sticks to his decision and chooses 5 of them to go there. Then a person running away comes to them and says that the sannyasi living in the Buddhist monastery of our village has died. We desperately need a sannyasi, a good salary for any monk of you who comes to our village, and on asking, it was found that most of the big farmers and rich traders live in the village, so the village is very prosperous and happy. I am thinking that I should stop here, after all. This is also the work of Buddha, and anyway, he needs only 1 scorpion, you 4 monks are enough for there. The next day when they were passing through a kingdom, the king of that state passed in front of them on his horse. The king stopped the 4 of them and said, I am the king of this kingdom, I have only 1 daughter and I am looking for a young man for my daughter's marriage. Pointing to the beautiful and strong-bodied monk, the king said, you are exactly the same as I imagined for my daughter. Will you marry my daughter? The monk said goodbye to the rest of his companions and left in the king's horse. Now those remaining 3 monks were able to feel the head of their monastery. They were all talking among themselves what the chief had rightly said. That the path is too long and the things that distract the mind are thousands of. All 3 of them decided that they would complete their journey very carefully and would not allow themselves to stray from any such thing, although from inside they were feeling jealous of both sides who had left them. On the 3rd night, the 3 monks lost their way. On searching a lot, they saw the light of a burning lamp from a distance. Somehow they reached there. There was a house, on whose window a lamp was hanging. They stood on the door and called. Then a young woman opened the door of the house. When she sat inside the house, the girl said that God has sent you people because I was alone in this house and was waiting for my parents to return, but she has not returned yet. Come, please stay here for a few days until my parents come back. The girl gave the 3 of them food to eat and a bed to sleep in. The next morning the 3 of them were to leave, but one of the monks was fascinated by the young woman's humble nature and her beauty. I'll come to you myself when his parents come back. The 2 monks tried hard to convince her to third parties, but she was not ready to listen to anything. Eventually they both had to leave for the journey ahead. Surrounded them because the village belonged to atheists who did not believe in any religion, the people of the village challenged them to prove that whatever your Buddha has said, all that can be done by a great learned person of the village. He challenged them to come and argue with me and prove that your Buddha's principles are true. One of those monks accepted the challenge of the villagers. Seeing this, the other parties explained, what are you doing here and do not know? How long does this work take? The monk replied, even if my whole life is wasted in convincing these villagers, I will accept this challenge of theirs. Anyway, there is only 1 scorpion needed. So you go when these villagers believe in Buddha's principles, then I will come back. He stopped there, and eventually only one monk could reach his destination. Friends, if we look into our lives, we will find that many people set big goals for themselves and then try to fulfill those goals, but there are very few of them who can fulfill their goals. And this is because most of them deviate from the obstacles in the way of achieving their goals. So if you want to be a successful person and fulfill your goals, then the obstacles in the way of achieving the goal are from the obstacles in the way of achieving the goal. Leave the electricity, only then you will be able to achieve your desired destination. And if you also set a goal for yourself again and again but cannot work on it for a long time, your mind wanders again and again, you are not able to focus on your work,